Back at it with my client's second session of the week. Doing a little warm up here. His biggest mobility issues are with his shoulders. So focusing here on always getting those activated early. I really like this overhead hold ISO to just get him in that good position, stay tense, and help his overhead press, which you'll see later has gotten so much better. Working on some lower body strength, doing some trap bar deadlifts here, using the giant set method, doing the same weight he was doing last week, but we're upping the reps and cutting the time almost in half. Still working on these broad jumps. He's starting to feel a little more confident with them, so I'm starting to see a little bit better effort in terms of his body just not holding him back. But here I really want to point out these shoulder presses. This is what we ended with for him on his 8 rep max, and he was doing these maybe at forehead height, and now he's got that same weight all the way down to his chin. So what I basically did is we looked at his low starting weight on these full range of motion reps at about 45 pounds, so just the bar, got him something comfortable and confident that he could do full range, and we've been slowly upping that. And we're looking more aggressively on upping his weight on the super squat because it's just a little bit safer movement for him. And he tends to not be as afraid to lift that overhead, partially because of the angle and arc at which you press on that. Now, one of the next steps that we want to start training is some acceleration work. Call it sprints if you'd like, but I would argue more acceleration. So here we're doing this cable hip flexor drive, which is a really good movement because a lot of times you see people doing kind of the kettlebell knee lifts, which gets the hip flexor, but it's more in that top position, where this actually gets you in the stretch position. And I got this one from Paul Favorites. Continuing to try to work on his range of motion on these extreme iso dips. And then one of my favorites for your ankle and feet, the ankle cooker, where you're basically doing a very short range of motion really quickly, and then you're having to stabilize that foot while opening the hips up.